let's jump right into this explainer of some seriously fascinating source material. We're looking at the core mechanics of The Secret. We're going to objectively map out how this text posits that you, yes you, act as a literal transmission tower. According to the book, you are constantly emitting invisible frequencies out to the universe through your everyday thoughts. And it's those exact frequencies that dictate the physical reality you wake up to every single day. Crazy, right? Let's get into it.
The entire core thesis of our source material really boils down to just 3 words. Thoughts become things. The concept here is pretty radical. It argues that your life right now, in this exact moment, is just a direct reflection of your past thoughts. So if you're looking around at your life and seeing things you don't exactly love, like, say, a totally depleted bank account or maybe some physical aches and pains, well, the source argues you've simply been focusing way too much on what you don't want, which effectively just ordered more of it straight from the universe.
Here is how we're breaking this down today. 1. The law of attraction. 2. The mindset of wealth. 3. Actions for financial abundance. 4. The frequency of health. And 5. Healing and defying age. It's basically a 2-part deep dive, first exploring how this law applies to money, and then pivoting entirely to physical health.
All right, starting with Section 1, the law of attraction, the universe as a catalog.
So according to the text, the universe basically operates exactly like a giant mail-order catalog that's just sitting there waiting for your order. And it's governed by a super specific creative process. Step 1, you ask the universe. Step 2, and the text highlights this as absolutely crucial, you have to believe it is already yours. And Step 3, you receive it by feeling the joy right now. The authors claim that if you follow these 3 steps, the quote-unquote genie of the universe, who always says, "Your wish is my command," will immediately start leveraging people and circumstances to fulfill your exact order, no questions asked. The book actually emphasizes that figuring out the how is totally not your job. Your only job is to generate the feelings of having it right now and let the universe handle the shipping logistics, basically.
Moving right along to Section 2, the mindset of wealth and shifting the frequency.
The source material is adamant that money has to be manifested internally long before it ever shows up in your wallet. You've really got to shift your mindset here. Think about it. If you focus on debt, you're just going to attract more debt. You literally cannot get out of debt by stressing about debt. Imagine that heavy, sinking feeling you get when you open your mail and dread seeing bills. According to the text, the law of attraction responds to that feeling by simply delivering more bills, because lack is the exact frequency you're broadcasting. To fix this, you have to completely tip the scales. You must focus entirely on prosperity to attract abundance. You're consciously shifting your inner dialogue from "I don't have enough" to "I have more than enough." To actually pull off this monumental mental shift, the text recommends a super practical exercise. You basically become a parent for 30 days. Whenever you're out and about, walking past a store window, and you see something you really want, like a brand new car, a luxurious vacation package, whatever it is, you repeat this exact phrase out loud to yourself. "I can afford that. I can buy that." By doing this over and over, you're actively forcing your inner dialogue to change. You are literally convincing yourself of your own prosperity. And the source claims that doing this will eventually alter the actual physical circumstances of your life.
Next up, Section 3, actions for financial abundance and making it real. Okay, so the crucial point is that this new mindset has to translate into specific physical actions that trick your brain into emitting a frequency of extreme abundance. The source offers some really fascinating tools for this. First, vividly imagine spending the wealth you want. They even say you should write yourself a blank check from the Bank of the Universe and stick it right on your bathroom mirror so you're forced to look at it every single day. Next, visualize actual checks arriving in the mail instead of bills. Picture yourself opening the envelopes and feeling that huge sense of relief. Now, interestingly, the text strongly recommends giving money to others. It's a bit of a paradox, right? But giving money away demonstrates ultimate faith. It sends a massive, undeniable signal to the universe that you have plenty to spare. But above all these little tricks, the text posits that everything really just culminates in the ultimate shortcut: simply being and feeling happy right now. Radiating joy is presented as the absolute fastest way to attract anything into your life, including cold, hard cash.
All right, let's pivot our focus entirely over to the physical body. Section 4, the frequency of health and the mind-body connection.
Shifting to our second pillar, health, the source makes some pretty radical claims. It states that stress and disease only ever manifest from unchecked negative thoughts, period.
The authors actually point to the placebo effect as undeniable scientific proof of the law of attraction in action. I mean, think about the sheer magnitude of the placebo effect. A patient gets a totally fake sugar pill, but their body physically heals anyway, purely because they truly believed the treatment was real. The text argues that the human mind is the absolute biggest factor in the healing arts. It shows that unshakable belief alone can dictate physical healing, completely overriding the fact that there was zero actual medicine involved.
And just like with debt, the text firmly warns against discussing sickness, even casually. If you talk about an illness, even when a friend is just being nice and asking how you feel, the source argues you are actively giving your attention to that illness. And by giving it attention, you are literally inviting more diseased cells to form in your body. It sounds intense, but the book states that instead of complaining about your symptoms, you have to focus entirely on perfect health. By letting go of negative thoughts and just totally refusing to verbalize your sickness, you step out of your own way and allow your body's natural state of vibrant health to effortlessly emerge.
And finally, we arrive at Section 5, Healing and Defying Age, Miracles and Time.
Building on that incredible mind-body connection, the text presents some very bold claims about using love, gratitude, and just intense joy to literally dissolve diseases that doctors have flat out called incurable. We see this perfectly illustrated in the anecdotes of Kathy Goodman and Norman Cousins. Both of them were facing super severe, really daunting diagnoses on day 1, but look closely at their timelines. From month 1 through month 3, they took a completely unconventional route. They fully committed to just watching funny movies and laughing constantly. They totally refused to let stress, fear, or any negative medical prognosis into their day-to-day lives. And the result? By month 3, both reportedly experienced complete physical recoveries without relying on traditional medical treatments. The text uses these stories to argue that the immense power of genuine laughter releases all negativity, which frees the body up to just naturally and miraculously heal itself.
Furthermore, the source material goes a massive step further and completely rejects the entire concept of aging. Yep, you heard that right. It argues that aging is simply limited thinking. Because science proves that our cells regenerate entirely every few years, it means we are, quite literally, constantly inhabiting a brand new physical body. Therefore, the text asserts that holding on to the deterioration of age or chronic illness is really just a matter of bad habits and heavy social conditioning. If you can release those habitual thoughts, you can focus on and actually manifest eternal youth. So the book outlines some very specific steps to help you defy age. First, actively acknowledge that your body replaces itself continually. Second, just completely tune out society's constant messages about aging. They really do not serve you. Third, banish any thoughts of stiffness or a lack of agility from your mind entirely. Just don't allow them in. And finally, celebrate your next birthday as if it were your very first. The source literally warns against putting 60 candles on a cake if you don't want to actually summon the aging process. It's a radical, almost playful way to reframe growing older. But the core takeaway here is that the locus of control for eternal youth, boundless energy, and perfect health sits entirely inside your own mind.
As we wrap up this explainer, we want to leave you with one ultimate challenge regarding your own internal frequency. Take a second and really think about this. If your life is indeed a direct reflection of your past thoughts, like this source material so boldly claims, what are you broadcasting right now? Are you transmitting lack, worry, and stress out into the ether? Or are you emitting abundance, joy, and perfect health? Because according to this, the choice and the reality it creates is entirely yours.